realest podcast.
MW. We back up in this thing. You can't roll with us if your last name don't got no loyalty. Podcast party poppin', but you already knew. I've been rolling with these folks. This that Monday night crew. Millennials versus the world like. Millennials versus the world like you. Millennials versus the world like. Millennials versus the world like you. Millennials versus the world. Millennials versus the world like you. Millennials versus the world like. Millennials versus the world like you.
Yo, what's happening, good people? Welcome back to another segment of the Monday Night Crew. It's your boy K. Mims, man. I got my bro DJ J Dub, Lewis. I got the ladies of the show, Brittany, Princess Asia. What up, good people? How y'all feeling, man? What up, what up, what up?
Hey.
So what's up?
Oh, I'm about to say it sound real Monday right there, boy. You understand me? It's a real Monday right there, boy. Yeah, you feel me? Give me a little, you know what I'm saying? Jersey in the building. You know what I'm saying? All right, so hey, look, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't care for nobody, but I have a question, and we're gonna jump in this bag really quickly before we get into the conversation tonight, because I think the conversation tonight from Princess and Lewis is going to be really good. But I have a question, and I'm gonna make it two parts, and let me get a disclaimer. I don't want us to think too far outside the box. I want people to give their actual opinion and not anything, perspective based from anywhere else. So I was chilling this previous weekend, and it was a couple environment, you know what I'm saying? And there were a mixture of like single people, girlfriends, wives, right? And a lot of these people aren't even younger, but like a lot of people have this thing where like, we are married, even if they not, right? Like they've been in a relationship long enough, they've been together, they're like, we are married. And I heard the words like a ring don't mean that much for real. So in everybody's individual opinion, what do rings still mean now? Like, what do rings still mean now? They don't mean nothing cool. Do they mean something that, that they used to mean something in tradition that they don't mean now? But from the guy's perspective and a woman's perspective, do rings still mean anything? Does it symbolize anything? Or is it now just a step in a relationship?
Which ring you talking about? The wedding band or the actual engagement ring?
Let's go. Hey, you know what? Let's talk about both. Like the engagement ring, and then you get down and get a band. What does it mean now to you all? Does it symbolize the same thing, or do y'all think it's like it's not that serious no more? As long as people can show commitment and be committed, it is what it is. Where does it stand?
No, I want my ring.
Yeah.
Okay. Elaborate a little bit, Princess. Like, what does it mean to you, or what made you say, "No, I want my ring"?
It's an extra level of commitment for me, as well as like there's just some things that I'm not gonna do unless I'm your wife.
For sure.
Like I feel like, for example, nowadays I see a lot of people buying homes with just somebody who's their boyfriend. For me, I feel like that's damn near a bigger commitment than the marriage. Like to for that large of a, like a purchase. I'm not doing that with a boyfriend. That's something that you do, in my opinion, with a husband or a wife.
For sure. For sure. Salute, respect. What anybody else? What does a ring mean now to it? Does it not mean anything? Because when I heard that, I was like, so do people downplay it so they don't feel the pressure? Do people say it doesn't matter because it really doesn't? Or does it make a woman seem thirsty if she still says like, nah, I want my ring? Like, I really just want to know perspective on it.
I think a ring symbolizes all those things that you listed earlier, like the commitment in itself. Like when you get a ring, it's, to me anyway, excuse me, it's a sign of moving towards the commitment and moving towards all these other things. Engagement ring, I'm talking about. Wedding band is completely different. That's locked, locked in. But I feel like I don't know in the single world now, mindset of these women now, but I kind of feel like I think it's less about pressure. Like I don't feel like women are out here like, oh, I'm saying this because I don't want to pressure somebody into doing doing it.
Mhm.
And let's be real, like I think we've talked about this, or maybe I heard this. I feel like marriage has kind of taken a dip too. Like people don't take marriage seriously. They
Mhm.
just want the other part of it, right? Like they can have, people can have a long-term relationship and not be married and be okay with that. So maybe that's part of it too. Like ring doesn't really matter. But for me, it definitely does because it symbolizes all those things that comes with a marriage.
For sure. Jay, Asia, Lewis, what's your thoughts?
Um, I mean, I think it definitely symbolizes those things. Do I think? I think it just is based off your partner too. If you guys have the same mindset, then I think it'll be fine. But I mean, if you have a partner that the ring really doesn't matter, then I get the commitment part, and yeah, it's committed beyond the rings. But I guess I've seen it from both sides being single. Like I've seen people with rings on still do some reckless stuff. So I mean, so but for me personally, yes, I still believe in the ring symbolizes, the commitment and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Louis?
bring up though. I think like
Mhm. Go ahead, Asia.
I'm good. Oh,
Yeah,
just thinking about how like some people that have rings, they don't respect the rings that they have. And so then for single people, it's like, then what is the point of wanting to get the ring when you see people that have the ring that don't respect what it's supposed to stand for? Like, I don't
for
actually think
sure.
that it's single people that then are adding or taking away the value of the ring. I actually think that it's married people that disrespect their ring, that they're not
Mm,
setting a good example for the people that don't have the ring yet.
Mm,
Because if I'm looking at married people and y'all are disrespecting your ring, or I'm looking at married people and y'all sneeze the wrong way and y'all getting a divorce, then why would my ambition be to get a ring when the people that have it don't even understand the secret the sacredness, right, of marriage or what it's
mm,
supposed to symbolize.
for
definitely.
sure. For sure. Lewis, you got an opinion on that?
Asa just really uh triggered a thought. I never really thought about the responsibility that I have to put on display for people who maybe aspire to be married. I never looked at it that way. You know what I mean? I just looked at it for my own situation, trying to navigate through my own. But I do think that there is a certain responsibility you hold when you are wearing your symbol of the union, right? I think there's a certain behavior and expectation that comes with that. Um, for me, it means something because it's a symbol. It is a symbol of a very special day for me, a moment in time in my life. It signifies that. There are other symbols as well. I think our children are a symbol of that love, which I also love. But it's not always on display. The ring is always with me. Um, I've had what's the word I'm looking for? I've had like situations where I'm interacting with someone and then they see the ring and then they interact with me differently. So
Mhm,
I do think it holds a certain weight.
mhm.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. So my debate. So I said something in the middle of that conversation. I'm just like, so I asked, like, why you feel like that X, Y, Z, and it was similar to what, like, the response was similar to what, like, Princess said. It was she was not, but it was a counter example to what she said. Basically, like, I'm getting everything that I would get if I was married. You know what I mean? And I would say this blindly. I'm glad I didn't have the pressure of marriage looking a certain way when I got married. I was just kind of like young, dumb, and like, oh, let's get married, girl. So like I didn't have the, like, what it seems like today where everything is a conversation and everything has to be, it can't just be two people that want companionship and want to be happy and go off on a little, journey. I do think nowadays it means less, and I like what Asia said about I like what Asia said about, like, married people being the reason why it looks different. You know what I mean? And I think the older I've gotten, like, not intentionally, that's the approach I take, because I see a lot of young dudes just not moving the right way. And it's hard for me not to say something, but I try to stay out of people's business. But it's just like, bruh, like you can't do that. And I just hate what quote unquote leadership as a husband looks like now, or what they say it looks like, because to me it doesn't look like that. So this is my next question, and then we're gonna hand it over to Princess Lewis. I need y'all to check me on this if we wrong, because I got into a little debate. Y'all know how I am. So we all in the Uber, you know, one of the young people, you know what I'm saying? We got an XL, and we were all leaving the spot we was leaving, and he was about to hop in there before his lady got in it. You got me?
Mm-hmm.
So she jumped on him, lit him up.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife was like, boy, if you don't get out of here and go wait, which, you know what I'm saying, trying to put him on the game, right? So, you know, the Uber got the rumbling on the way back. You know what I'm saying? They got it to it, right? And I'm just like, young fella, be quiet. Shut up. Like, stop talking. Like, you're not going to win right now. So then him and I got in this debate of like, nah, that's what's wrong. Like, the whole, like, you old heads teach you to be quiet all the time. Be quiet all the time. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. And I was trying to let him know, like, bro, time and place. Like, you made her get pissed off, and now you in the car arguing with her when it was your fault. Like, when you wrong, you gotta shut up. Am I tripping? Am I tripping? I want you all to judge my mentality behind that. Like, if I start a forest fire, I'm not gonna be the one to keep it going. I'm gonna have to shut up and take whatever you said because it's my fault. What's
Actually,
your
you
thoughts?
did. Actually, you did. You know,
How?
one thing I learned as I get older, you talked about timing. Maybe the time to correct him wasn't in front of everybody, right? Because
Tell me
in
why I
that
corrected
moment,
him.
I'm talking about anyone. They could, you know, everybody corrected him because he's embarrassed, right? Maybe he's just acting without knowing. Maybe he legitimately didn't know that's the way things should go. He's just doing what he's always done. So I think one, in a setting like that, someone's going to be defensive. He's going to continuously try to defend himself because he perhaps did not know that was the right or quote unquote wrong thing to do. Technically, it wasn't wrong morally or socially. It is to us, but to him, he's just getting in the car, which is what he's going to have to do anyway. So I think that when you hear things like that, it maybe he's someone that hasn't been heard before either, right? When he's like, old heads, you're telling people to be quiet. Maybe he's saying, hey, I've never had a voice in a situation. So I think in that moment, I think when we are correcting or when we are giving the game to someone, maybe not as public, I think you'll maybe get better results with the kids nowadays, because he's going to be on the defense in that moment, because you got everybody saying, what's wrong with you? You did this wrong. I would get defensive as well.
All right, so I'm not gonna go too deep in the scenario because it happened in real life. So I get what you're saying, but y'all forgive me real quick because I want to have this conversation with Lewis really quickly. So that's my issue with things now, right? Like there's no generalized nothing. No, bro. If that's your lady and you're supposed to be with her, you shouldn't have left her. There's no, to me, that's one of those things of like, oh no, you was like, if I'm not mistaken, you said like we could say he's wrong, but technically he's not, right?
Right.
Lewis, if you were leaving the place, and your lady was still there, would you go get in the Uber without her?
Well, hold on, Keenan. That's not fair, because Lewis was raised in a different era. What Lewis is trying to say, and I agree with him, you're trying to generalize something, and I get what you're saying. But if he doesn't know, he doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
We're trying to say that, oh, you're supposed to know these things. But if a person didn't have a person in their life teaching them these things, maybe chivalry, hey, you're supposed to walk on this side of the street. A lot of people don't know that the guy's supposed to walk on the outside of the street. So I think you're taking it from your perspective of like, damn, bro, shouldn't you know these things? And yes, you should if you had a person in your life teaching you those things. Everybody don't have that. But so instead of doing that correction, that's when you pull it to the side. Hey, bro, nobody ever told you, hey, you gotta let your lady go in there first, man.
Y'all are missing something. Y'all are misreading the story. Brittany corrected him. I didn't. They started arguing, and I said, young fella, chill out. I didn't correct him on getting in the car.
Well, they started arguing because he was defensive. And number two, how do we know he was doing what he normally probably do? He probably gets in the car before her anyway.
Yeah, but listen to what I'm saying.
And it was magnified because somebody said something. So she maybe felt like, oh, damn, maybe I do need to say something.
Yeah, but the question is not about if he should have got in before her. Because I didn't even correct that part. I didn't say anything about that. A woman said something about that.
Right.
What I'm saying is once his lady felt the way about him leaving her. She started digging into him. He started going back and forth with her. And I was like, young fella, chill out, because you started that fire. I'm not gonna get into the whole context of that. I'm cool with not giving that context. What I'm saying is he may not have known that, but your lady visibly got upset with you because you left her.
Right.
And when she started firing off, all I said was like, hey, young, like, it's not a good look. Like, she's pissed off with you because of something you did right now. Ain't the time to be going back and forth. So I'm not really getting into.
But you saying right now at the time to go back and forth, right? Is your personal opinion in that situation, and it's cool. I'm not knocking that. But if he felt defensive in that moment and he doesn't know that he's not supposed to, like, you were a 21-year-old before. If somebody fired at your ass, you fired back. That's just what it was. So now as you gotten older, Sneak, you realize now, okay, you know what, bro, it's not the time and place for that. But as a 21-year-old or however old the person is, they didn't know what that meant. So I think that still he shouldn't even been checked in that moment. He should have waited till y'all got back and then you pulled him to the side to do that.
I think it's wrong to for her to be okay and to yell and respond because she's upset, but he can't be upset because he didn't know anything and you yelling at me because I didn't know something. Just get in the car.
Y'all are assuming he didn't know. Nobody ever said.
And
that.
I think
just jump in here? Can I say this? People, listen, 21, 18, 15, it don't matter. Yes, we learn about chivalry or whomever can teach you certain things, but there's some things that there's common sense that you just gotta know. Like, why would you leave your girl? Yeah. Come on now. Like that's just common to me. That's just common sense. I don't care how old he is. So, but I mean, I agree. Maybe Keenan could have told him a little bit later, like not to say it right now, whatever that may have been. But to your point, Lewis, when you just said like she's snapping and how come I can't snap because I didn't know? I genuinely think we give men too much credit and women too about common sense. Some things are just common sense, man. You can't possibly think that it's okay for you to leave your lady and everybody else is in the car. Like jump in and think that that's cool. That I mean, and maybe it has happened before, right? Maybe it is something that he's done before in the past. But if for her to fire off like that, that means she had to have checked him about it before. She just didn't get mad out of the sky. So I just kind of feel like there are certain things that there's a right and there's a wrong to everything. There's other things that is learned behavior over time in a relationship. I don't know. That's just me.
No, I super. Lakeith, man, what up, man? Appreciate you tapping in. Unpopular opinion: never give unsolicited advice to grown adults because they seldom receive it. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
True.
I guess and Lewis, I receive what y'all are saying because I agree with that. I think my thing is with young men, right? Take the age out of it. To Brittany's point, Lewis, do you feel like anything is teaching men how to treat your lady, how to walk around your lady? Like there has to be some common understanding, even if they weren't learned, that we have to be able to come on terms with. Like respect is respect. The way you handle with care is the way you handle with care. I don't think everything can be perspective based. Now, if he didn't know, he didn't know. I was never tripping on him leaving the car.
I would say, look at how he treats, so I get what everybody's saying, but that's not common sense. I hate to break the bad news. It's not common sense because again, he may not even care enough about himself, right? So how can he have that same expectation or that awareness for others, right? And it may be elementary, but if you haven't been taught, or if you haven't been around it, it's not a behavior that you are going to automatically know or adapt to. I'm speaking from personal experience here.
Gotcha.
So I think that men, there's an expectation of men to be protectors. I will say that some of the things that I've done that are considered common acts of chivalry are done because of my love for that person and my love of self, knowing how I would protect or how I would want to protect my own self. And then I extend that that courtesy to whomever I'm with. But if I haven't learned it for myself, I would have difficulty providing that to someone else if I have not been taught or told that. So I understand it. If there's a baseline for it, there should be a baseline for it. However, the same logic we're putting into about her response, the same logic could be applied to him. And I think that sorry, Brittany, I have to counter what you said. You give men too much credit. I don't think we give men enough grace to learn and space to learn these things, because we created now a traumatic moment for that young man when it could have been an opportunity to teach him. So while we're sitting here correcting him on going back and forth with her, we should be correcting her and saying, hey, we just told him. Let's see if he does it next time, then that's another thing. But I think we have to extend grace too.
I
ahead,
wish
Princess.
I had more context, but I know because it's a personal situation.
No, Princess, ask clarifying question.
How old is he? Is that
26.
Can you answer that? 26. Okay, so to me, 26 that's not an excuse. Now, if we were talking about somebody who's like in college or something like that or whatever, but I feel like by age 26, like that's something that you should know. That's just, to me, that's like one of those things. If you go out with friends, like the people who I hang around, like we're not gonna leave each other. So it's like if there was an Uber there and all of us weren't going to be able to fit, like one person wouldn't go by themselves and then leave the others, or vice versa. So I feel like that goes romantic relationships and regular friendships as well. So I don't know about a 26-year-old.
Okay.
Can I just say something?
For sure.
Quick. So I think that, and I hear exactly what Lewis is saying, right? And I do agree with that. What I also want to say is just something that we didn't talk about yet, is the fact that this person then says, see y'all old heads always, right? That sentence alone lets me know that he has at some point encountered an old head that was trying to tell him something, for him to then have the knowledge to then say, y'all old heads always. Right, are always saying this or always saying
Good
that.
stuff,
So
Paige. I didn't
the
even think
basis
about that.
of like the fact that there was no, and this is only in this situation, right? Because generalizing it, I do agree with Lewis, and I think that's the importance of having mentors, right? That will then be able to help young men in general, right? Because I do think that there's a double standard of like women are then taught how to, be feminine, how to do certain things, right? And then men are not taught the same things all the time. It's kind of like you're a man, figure it out, right? So I do understand that, but just in the context of this particular situation, that person had called out old heads and said that they always. So that just lets me know it's like at some point he has encountered somebody trying to correct him or somebody trying to teach him something that he then did not apply, that he then was not taking heed to that, right? So I just wanted to point that out because nobody had brought it up yet.
No, that was really
good.
good.
Are you an old head to a 26-year-old?
That was a great point.
But they think that's the point I'm trying to make. Like they like to a 26-year. No, I'm not. But they think that way though.
But you've been married for 12 years.
At 26.
Louis, this is the thing.
I don't mean to cut you off, Keenan, but I think all of us up here are looking at it from our perspective because we came up a certain type of way. I get the not generalizing and all that stuff, and you saying like, yeah, you should know. We have to be honest with ourselves. Princess, you made a point where you said, I feel like by 26, right, that you should know certain things, right? And I feel like that the only thing with saying stuff like that for me is like we put those stipulations on everything. Like people feel like, oh, I feel like by 30 you should buy a house. Okay, cool. What about the people by 30 who didn't buy a house? They took a different path, but now those people who don't have their house at 30 feel some type of way because society is saying this is what should be done. So it's not an age limit for me. I think that it could be just the way and honestly, we could just be thinking too deep into it. He could have just been toe up and just thought, let me get the hell in the car. We really could just be thinking too deep into it.
So y'all forgive me because I don't want to take over tonight because we have topics to get to. Jay, I don't disagree, but I feel very strongly about this. I'm really with you all. And Lewis, I really do think there should be more like young dudes should be getting grace. What I don't agree with is like I hate when we say like, oh, we were brought up a certain way. Did da. Doesn't our results give us validity to give advice? Does it not?
No,
like
no.
I
say
think
again?
it does, but I think the approach is what matters most.
Lewis, tell me about my approach. What was crazy? Because I think y'all are getting Brittany telling him
Because it wasn't what you said, it was timing, because the environment that he was in, he was not ready to receive any critiques or criticism.
No.
He wasn't going to hear anything.
What critique or criticism did I give him?
Stop talking.
Stop talking, bro. You started this fire. Like, you got to shut up.
All he was looking for.
I didn't say that to him. I said that to you all.
Oh,
I told you what I said to him was, hey, bro, let it go. Don't say nothing right now.
Yeah,
Did I just say
critique?
what you said?
Yeah, I don't remember you saying that.
No, I said that to you all.
You didn't tell him to stop talking?
No, I didn't say you started that fire. I did tell him to stop talking.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. You the timing of what you said, he wasn't in a space to receive it because he was embarrassed.
He getting screamed on by her,
Right.
Brittany, and you saying, hey, bro, stop talking.
Right.
This man mind is going crazy right now.
He's probably looking for someone to hear him. You know what I mean? And to Aza's point, I get what you're saying. All these old heads, I'm gonna be honest with you. Had all the old heads try to tell me stuff. And yeah, Keenan, they may have been right, but how they were telling me, I'm not listening to you. I'm not listening to you. I'm not in a space to receive that right now. Right. So you gotta understand timing is just as important. The delivery of the message and the timing of the message are almost equally important at times. Because if I'm not mature enough to be able to, or in a space to receive it, you're wasting your time.
Salute. Lakeith also said our result validates that they work for us and our experience, but they are not necessarily universal. I got you. I'm with you. I agree with you, but I don't think that means we don't have. I just think my point of bringing it up, and then I'm gonna hand it over to Lewis and Princess. I think my point of bringing it up is like, I think that expression things, like we say young dudes need more grace and they need to do more things and nobody's teaching them. And then when you try to teach them, then they don't want to listen. So I don't get the balance in like they need to do this or we need to do more things. And I get the scenario of saying the time, Lewis. I really do. I really do understand that. You know what I mean? And I agree with that. I just want to point out, I did not critique the young fella. And B, everybody in this world knows whether it's right or wrong. Your lady can be going crazy. If you go crazy back, that's a bad look. And you can flip that patty how you want to flip it.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's not true, bro. Everybody don't know that. And you didn't know that at 21. If your lady went with you,
get his ass, Jay. Get his ass.
He's not 21. That's the point.
He's not
21.
Hold on. Jay, you know me.
But at 26, there's a lot of guys that's not that humble. You got freaking 40-year-olds that still be arguing with their lady.
Tell him, Jay.
You've known me. You know, I can't speak for other 40-year-olds. You've known me my entire marriage.
Right.
And you know how spicy my wife can get. How many times have you seen me go stupid, even when I was young?
I can't compare you though, because I know how you were raised.
But the thing is, you all keep saying I didn't know that at his age, and I did know it.
Yeah, you knew that, but I think you're taking your experiences and putting it on him that he should have known that.
So, okay.
That's your experience.
So wait, can I hold on? Let me say that real quick.
No, I love it. I love
it. Just to that point, right? I do agree with what Keenan said. I think that people know at any age, and this is just being honest, that you going back and forth with anybody, you look crazy. Now, I think the point is whether you care or not. That's really what it is, whether you're prioritizing it or not. The only reason why I'm saying this is because even when you're in grade school, right? Like they tell you, don't fight, right? So you know that it's not necessarily beneficial and you look crazy going back and forth, but if you care or not, that's the point. A lot of times they just don't care, so they're gonna keep doing that. And I'm seeing it in the context of you going back and forth with anybody in public. That is something that we are literally taught in kindergarten. So the whole thing that I'm saying with that is there are certain things that it's like that we do know we have a basic understanding of, whether we apply it, whether we care enough to apply it, or we prioritize it. I think those are the things that do change. There are certain things that we don't know. There are also certain things, be kind to yourself. We're taught that at a young age, right? Be gentle with yourself, all those things, you're taught that in school. So at some point, it's like there are certain things that it's like people are just not applying to larger scenarios, right? But not to argue and fight. There's consequences for that.
That extends to both of them, though, right? Because what Keenan was saying was,
to both.
but what Keenan said, Keenan, I hate to quote you because I know what happens if I misquote this, brother.
We all good, brother.
But from what I remember, you said that he didn't have the right to do it because he initiated her. He sparked that or invoked that emotion out of her. So he didn't have the right to continue to go back and forth. Is that correct? Is that what you said?
Paraphrasing, yeah, similar to. So
I think in this scenario that to Asia's point, that goes to but that responsibility is on both of them. So when he's singled out, it's like, well, man, I got this. I'm good. She coming at me. I'm defending myself.
How when you cause a reaction?
What if he didn't know he was going to cause it?
Lewis, it doesn't matter if you don't know. If I go somewhere and somebody takes we've talked about this before. If I do something and you take it away and you respond differently, but your action is a reaction to me, I can't control how people react to what I do. Maybe he did not know. Right. But she came in the car and told him, yo, you really left me outside? So at that point, you knew what her static was coming from. Then you knew everything that followed was a reaction from what she said. From what you did. So all I'm saying is, in the moment, in this context of the scenario, what I was trying to say was, like, she acknowledged that him doing that made her mad. She started going off.
So let me ask you, was she going to acknowledge that before Britt said something to her?
Say again?
Was she going to acknowledge what happened before somebody said something to her?
Nobody said anything to her.
Or Brittany y'all said something to him, right?
She was still in the club. Okay. He got in the car. Brittany said, man, don't leave her. By the time he tried to get out the car, she came out the club going off. She never said anything to her. She only said to him, don't leave your girl. She never said nothing to her.
Oh, he was getting out.
Huh?
He was about to correct it, and she was upset.
I'm not. I don't know.
You know what I would have did? You know what I would have did?
I'm saying in my point. I agree with Lakeith saying like it validates our work and our experiences. But what I will say is there comes a time and place where like you can't have it both ways. I can't do what I want. People react how they want to, and then I say, "Oh, I'm justified in reacting to your reaction." I caused it.
It's just, I
ain't saying go crazy, but I caused it.
I don't know. I know how to treat women, and I know I wouldn't have never done that. But to say he caused all of that, the man was just getting in a damn car. Like,
can you control?
No, Jay, you are not about to just get in no car.
I'm with Jay.
I would have never. You saw me leaving. Would have never done that. But what I'm saying is, y'all leaving with a group of family members and friends. He got in the damn. Come on, y'all.
All right, you got you.
You know what I would have did
before we transfer over. Some parents in schools preach not going back and forth to elementary students, but then go back and forth with them in front of the same.
What good is what's taught if it's not applied at home? Well, if you don't see it every day.
Touche.
All right. Can I tell you what I would have done?
Huh?
Can I tell you what I would have done?
No. Okay, go ahead.
All right. I won't tell you.
Hey, now go ahead, brother. Tell her what you would have did.
She be like, you left me in the club, and I'm like, nope, but I'm leaving now, and I left her ass right there. Got another number.
Okay.
I knew Lewis was going to say.
Yeah, Lewis, you didn't want her then.
Get your ass on. Now who looks stupid? You could be yelling out there by yourself. I'm out for real.
Yo, hey, I'm not gonna like. I don't want to take too much more tonight on this conversation, but I appreciate everybody's input, man. But Jay, I know we could go a whole nother hour about that. All right, so I'm gonna head it over to Princess and Lewis, man. They taking us through the topics of the night. Princess and Lewis, the world is y'all.
You can take the first one, Lewis.
All right. You got the video, Keenan?
Yeah, I can play it right now. Let me know when you're
all right, guys. So we are post college basketball, women's college basketball season. We had a lot of interesting things go on. One thing in particular, was Angel Reese from the LSU women's basketball team. So we're going to watch some commentary from one of our sports journalists, former athlete, and then I want to get some takes on that perspective because I had one that was very interesting, and I would love to hear from you guys. So, Keen, if you want to cue it up, man, we'll get to it.
Racially indifferent take. I'm about to give a gender-neutral, racially indifferent take. Now, if you want to say, well, Acho, cater your take based upon gender, Acho, cater your take based upon race, I will understand that. But I'm about to give a gender-neutral, racially indifferent take. Angel Reese, you can't beat a big bad wolf, but then kind of cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Because if you want to act grown, which she has, if you want to get paid like you grown, which you are, if you want to talk to grown folks like you grown, which you did, post-game when you told a coach for an opposing team, watch your mouth. If you want to tell people get your money up, then post-game when you take an L, you just got to take it on the chin. Nobody mourns when the villain catches an L. And Angel Reese, you have self-proclaimed to be the villain. Shout out to you because you were the second best basketball player on the court and it was not close. Outside of Caitlin Clark, it was you. 17 and 20, dog, showed up, biggest game, second biggest game of your career, absolute dog, but you can't under any circumstance.
Thoughts? That was the end of it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was it. So, how are y'all familiar with her?
Yes.
She's been real popular.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So, she is someone who's very vocal. She is. They won the championship last year. She brought a lot of notoriety to the game, to the sport, and she's unapologetically herself, right? So there was an incident recently in the tournament where she's told a coach, "Watch your mouth." She is, a girl from around the way, and she is, authentic to who she is. She doesn't change up for anyone. So just to kind of give context, a little bit more context for those of you that may or may not know, but I would love to hear opinions from the group on those thoughts from Emmanuel.
Sure. I'm gonna wait. I got mine. Okay. Me? May I?
Go. Yeah, bro.
So I think two things could be true. Let me acknowledge this. She is an absolute dog. I think if she was not of the ethnicity she was, she would not be getting that title. I don't think people would have put all that on her last year when she beat her. I just want to say she never was this before she gave the John Cena hand. She was never that. She was never that before the John Cena hand. And secondly, I don't feel like she was trying to cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. I feel like, and the thing is, when she said what she said, that I've been through so much and she was vulnerable, what people don't realize, she's always given her respect, even last year when she beat her. So like, I think people are just mad, and people are just mad that she backs up the trash talk. Now, I will say this: you got to do checks and balances that come with the game. When you play at that level, you're that caliber of woman. Let me take the woman part out. My bad. You're that caliber of player. You do what you do at a very high level. Like, people gonna hate. And now, if she would have beat her and talked her trash after that, would she have gotten praised for it, or people that said she's more of something else? So I just hate the way like some of these people, especially from the black community, they damned if they do, damned if they don't. Because that same John Cena notion that happened the game before was cool. She does it, she's a villain. No, she ain't crying out. She's telling the truth. She has been through a lot. Nobody said villains don't go through anything. I just hate that has to get thrown on her because of her ethnicity and because she's culturally competent. I just hate that. She didn't cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog to me. And that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah. I agree with that 100%. I think that she wasn't crying. I think she just made a general statement like, hey, I've been through a lot. And honestly, personally, I think she was being vulnerable and referring to not only basketball, but things that were going on in her life too. Because at that time, I think she was going through like a breakup. A lot of things were happening that, were behind the scenes and stuff. So I think she was making that statement of like, I'm going through a lot. She never shied away from who she was as a person of like, hey, sit your ass down, or I am who I am. She was that person. But I mean, I don't know what he wanted her to say at that moment. Like, yeah, she was better than me. I'm going to take this L on the chin. I think that if, like you said, if she wasn't black and Caitlin Clark would have made that same statement, this wouldn't even be a conversation right now.
Agreed.
And yeah.
For context, this was his response to her post game interview from her losing to
For sure.
Caitlin Clark.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ladies.
Which she didn't lose. The fucking girl that was guarding her got cooked. But let that fucking torched.
Jay, you stupid, man.
My bad.
Yeah, you said Angel Reese didn't lose. The girl guarded her
No,
loss.
she got torched. Oh my god.
Yeah, you stupid boy. Ladies.
I mean, I agree with Keenan what you were saying. I just feel like we forget that these players are also human. Like, is she not allowed to have an emotional response after losing a game? You know, like I watched her post interview and she was she was crying. She was wiping her face. You know, I got to stand strong for my team, whatever it was. That's an emotional response. And for him to say you got to take it on the chin or you're a coward or whatever, I don't agree with that statement. I do agree that she does talk a lot of trash, but like Keenan was saying, she can back it up. And when she loses, she loses. I don't think she was trying to make an excuse. I think them turning her into the victim almost is a bad look. I didn't, that's what I heard. I heard like, oh, here she go, blame the victim narrative again. But we're human at the end of the day. So she's entitled to have those emotions attached to her losing this game.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Hey, so
And
my bad, really quickly. I'm hopping there. We got a comment. He embodies white fans and commutators to think and speak on ignorant things about black players, and they can use them as a point of reference to support their ignorance and effery because a black person said it.
Okay.
Yeah, appreciate you tapping in.
Yeah.
For
Hey,
sure.
I never met a dumb dude named Lakeith, so that's dope. He's smart. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
That name come with like a 1600 on the SAT. But yeah,
Hey, look, I'm not gonna lie. He's a doctor. Not gonna cap.
see what I'm saying? I never met a dumb Lakeith.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go to his next comment next. I'm sorry, Asia, if I was about to cut you off when I put it up there. My apologies.
No,
It was
it's
me, I thought.
all good. I was just gonna.
Did we
Oh,
both
go
start
ahead,
talking at
Princess.
the same time? You know, you go ahead.
My fault. My bad, Princess. I didn't know. I thought that was Asia's voice. My fault.
It's okay.
I was just gonna say that similar to what Jay was saying, like I saw her interview, and in that I thought it was bigger than basketball, right? And I don't like how this commentator, I really don't like how he kept saying like because it came off as like all right, I'm not going like not to be disrespectful, and then you say something like really disrespectful, right? So it was just like you still have to take into account because how many times do we see players literally that do talk a lot of junk, doesn't matter the sport. And to be honest, it's usually men. Like I can literally think of how many coaches I've seen get in players' faces and vice versa, get in refs' faces, do all types of stuff, and it's never this big type of conversation. Also, anytime that any player loses, to Britt's point, yeah, it sucks because especially because of all the work that she's been putting in. Right. So it's like, well, duh, as a human being, you're going to have emotions. But I think in that moment, yeah, at least seeing the interview that she did, the couple of clips that I did, it just really showed her humanity more than anything. Right. And I think it's like, yeah, ball is life, but also like I have other things going on and I still show up as the player that I am and I still cook every time. So yeah, that commentator is weird.
I agree. I think this is like a prime example of how we always like use this, check on your strong friends. But then when your strong friend starts crying, now she's cursed a cowardly dog. Like what? Like there's no room for the strong friend to have emotions. That's why strong friends just stay strong. They don't want to shed a tear because then they're going to be judged. I feel like that's exactly what happened in this situation. And it's unfair to her. I understand the persona that she puts on, but she probably has, obviously, like Britt says, she's human. She has feelings. And then as grown as we would like to call her, she's in college.
For sure.
Like just
That's a great
imagine
point.
like how we were in college. And I say this even now, with like my nephews being in high school, just sports and the athletic programs and like just at the high school level now are like so beyond what we experienced when we were there. Like they have full blown like media days. Like it's almost like they're in college and high school at this point. And it's just so much pressure being put on them at a younger age. So I can only imagine like to be Angel Reese, to be in this world of social media and the stuff that she deals with. We don't know what type of DM she receives after a loss, or just, you know, people DMing her, comment about her attitude, probably calling her out of her name, all types of things. So after a major loss like that, I mean, does she not have the space to be vulnerable and break down?
Mm-hmm.
I just think it was just really I didn't like that coming from a black man. I really didn't like seeing that.
Fact. Talk about it, Princess. Real talk. Fact.
That's where I was about to come on. That's where I was coming in with it. So
I just didn't like that.
I'm a huge fan of Speak for Yourself. Emmanuel Acho, he's a context on him. He's a former Eagle. It's my team. That's my squad. He's a very intelligent brother. He has been known to take stances that are culturally different than, you know, than what most black people would take on. I think sometimes he goes out of his way to do it, just to display that we're not a monolith, right? But I think everyone's entitled to their opinion, and in the context of what he's saying, he is correct. I think the timing in which he chooses to say that as a result of her vulnerability was incorrect. And to Princess's point, what bothers me is that black media, and we understand the media that drives the narrative for these players. And Angel Reese, I've never, if you ever look at a post, any post, if you've seen her play, anytime she does something and you look in those comments, you see what's going on. You know what I mean? Like you see, especially when they play Iowa, you see what's going on. You know, I'll just leave it at that. You see what's going on. And for a person of black with a voice that's African American man, Princess talks about protecting black women. If your goal is to, you know, get ratings, I think that was the angle of his point. If your goal is to really educate her on that, then educate her on that in the right time. Don't do it when she's made herself vulnerable, when you've always seen her be this person, knowing culturally what we have to endure and what she's endured publicly as a result of whether you think it's her own doing or not. So that disappointed me, seeing that come from a black face in media on that platform. I didn't really care for that. Even though he's entitled to his response, I think that we have a responsibility, even on the level that we're in, to protect us, because no one else is going to do it for us.
For sure. For sure. A quick comment. How do you speak on a black woman and say, I'm going to remove your race, gender, and not lose all context of why she's showing up the way she shows up?
It justifies him saying it. Right? To him, he says that, right? He puts that disclaimer out there to therefore justify and not allow me to say, or what Princess say what she said.
Yep.
Right. But he knows the only reason she is the villain, to Jay's point, or to your point, Kenan, is because she's black.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and I hate, this is the thing. I'm sorry, I'm about to get on my race. People outside of our culture and some people in our culture think that black people like to bring race up all the time. We don't. I wish I didn't have to bring up being black. That's my experience that has been thrust upon me. I don't want to talk about race. I don't want it to be about race, but that's what society has made it for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk about me being a black man and what I experienced and what I endured. Kenan, I told him about a situation the other day. I'll tell y'all offline. But if I could choose not to talk about it, I wouldn't. It's not an excuse. It's our experience. And I think people lose sight of that sometimes because that's the reality that we live in.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think some people, if they don't have a big sports history, man, I feel like this is the biggest like racial battle on the court since Bird and Magic, bro.
And what you know what that did for the NBA?
What it do, Lord? Tell them.
It brought ratings. It brought ratings to the NBA. The NBA was losing ratings. They put a black person on the West Coast against a white person on the East Coast, and it brought the NBA back.
Yeah.
Right? College basketball, women's college basketball, I didn't watch it until I seen Iowa versus LSU.
That's true.
That's the reality of it. We can call it whatever we want. We can say it's all these other things. The game is great and all that. The game's been great. We know why we're watching it. Go in the comments and you'll see it.
Go ahead, go off, Lewis.
I'm just tired of that crap, man. Because
He's saying facts.
I'm tired of it, man. People think that we enjoy, as a black man or a black person, I'm speaking from my experience, but that I enjoy putting race into it. I don't. I wish I didn't have to. As much as you don't want to hear it, I don't want to experience it. But that's my damn experience. So you're gonna have to hear it.
That's right. For sure.
There you go. Go ahead, Louis B.
That's just the truth.
It's a fact.
Oh,
yeah.
So damn it, leave me the hell alone about it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any other thoughts, comments on that video? No. All right. So moving along, did y'all listen to Cole's new surprise album Day Drop?
No, you know I did.
Yes.
I know you did, Keenan.
Yeah, you know
So how did y'all feel about the song 7 Minute Drill? Was it a diss? Was it not a diss? Would you have liked to see it go further?
Hey. Have any of y'all seen Life? I know y'all seen Life.
Yeah.
Y'all know the gun line?
Yeah.
J. Cole just told Kendrick where the gun line is.
And
I'm telling you right now, I don't think it was a diss, because he said in the song literally, this is a warning shot. You know, Princess may be able to speak to this. I feel a little indifferent now that he apologized for it. I don't understand. So let me take that back. I do understand it.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I do understand it, because I think he's taking a mature approach. You know what I'm saying? I think he's saying that's not what I want to build my brand on, beefing with people that are just as good as me or in the same lane as me. Let's come up together. I don't know if I would have chose the platform that he chose to do it on. I don't know if I would have did. I think the best way to have done it is just follow the album. Oh, go ahead, Princess. Go ahead.
Tap me in whenever you finish.
Hey, right here. Go ahead.
All right. That shit put a snooze on last night. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just imagine 50,000 people in the crowd, and you're what the? I was so everybody was just silent. It was so unexpected. We were just like, is this happening right now?
Y'all are all amazement, or
we certainly thought he was going to do the song. He didn't do the song last night. So it was not expected for him to get on the stage and apologize and then perform Love Yours.
But what other platform would you have rather him done that on?
I think he should have followed the album and deleted later and just not have said anything. If you missed it, you missed it.
Yeah, but he legit said that, in his apology, he legit said that it disturbed his peace. It was a spiritual thing for him. So, you feel like he should have just kind of sat quiet on his hands, even though it was disrupting his own personal experience?
No.
So
he could have did it before people paid to have tickets to his event. So I think while spiritually, and it was some light skinned shit. Let's just call it what it is. But
hey man, Lewis owned it tonight, bro.
So it was So, but he think about the timing of when Kendrick said it. Then Dreamville's coming up. He releases it. It didn't sit right in his spirit. He could have sent out a tweet and let the people know what to expect before they came. He literally waited until the last day of his event. And this is prerogative. He waited until the last day of his event to say that. So you don't think that fueled people to come to Dreamfest?
Yeah,
right? To the anticipation behind it. So I think it's marketing, and I'm not saying it didn't disturb that brother's peace, but I mean, interesting timing outside of the platform.
I won't even say that it made people want to come, because baby, we've been had these tickets, but the fact that you chose, he dropped this on Friday. You knew that Dreamville was the next day, right? So you already know. First of all, we didn't know the album was coming out, so you just do this surprise drop the Friday, and then that song is up there. It's when we get there, he about to shut shit down. Get on the stage. I'm so sorry. What? You could have just dropped the album on Monday.
Yeah.
You know, like instead of dropping it Friday, getting everybody all hyped, and then you do that, and then you don't give us what the hype was really supposed to be about.
Princess, just love yours. Go ahead, Asia.
I do.
But what I will say to that though is like, when I tell you I commend J. Cole for so many different reasons. Number one, I just don't think that he ever lets the industry really get to him.
Mhm.
And by
I
that,
get
I
it.
mean, like looking, and this is just somebody that I was in the music business, right, for a little bit. So, like, looking at the production of things, sometimes he does not have control over when his album drops. Let's be
Mm.
clear about it, right? Like, sometimes it's like, no, you have a deadline because we have this thing coming up. You need to then submit this, and it has to go through all the things, right? So,
Mhm.
and just talking about like, it's not surprising that J. Cole would do something like this. Like this is very on brand for J. Cole. He doesn't do anything that he does not want to do. Period.
Yep.
That's been his whole thing. Like he is anti-industry. Like looking at it. So for him, it could have been like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do in the moment. Sure, it makes sense, right? I even saw a comment that somebody said, well, if they just keep going back and forth, like 5 times each, then that'll be like the collab album that we've all been waiting for, right? That'll be the closest thing to a collab album that we've been waiting for, right? And like, but thinking about that, like, it doesn't surprise me that J. Cole did it. It doesn't surprise me that he said, you know what, y'all, like y'all had these tickets once again way before. So it's kind of like y'all are not coming for this particular thing, right? Where I do understand your point, Lewis, but I think at the end of the day, I am just so grateful that he's not allowing the fans, because to be clear, a lot of artists become slaves to the fans. And then that's when they start losing their minds, just being honest. So I think the
Yeah,
fact that he stood 10 toes down on who he is as a person, like I'm cool with it.
Asia,
It's
I
on
don't.
brand. Go ahead, Kenny.
I'm sorry, brother. I don't disagree, Asia, but I'm with you. But it reeks marketing and strategy. I'm sorry. Like I don't disagree that all the things you said, I agree with. I'm not even touching on those. But it's just hard the Friday before
It was
Dreamville.
just timing.
Yeah, like and again, I really do. But I want to acknowledge, like, I'm not saying it didn't disturb him. I'm not saying that he doesn't feel the way he really felt afterwards. You know what I mean? But that
Yeah.
song, would say if he wouldn't have did it, right? Or this is just hypothetical, obviously, and dropped it on Monday, it would have had just as big of a buzz, maybe even bigger, if it would have came out Monday versus Friday. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't because we didn't know anyway. Like Dreamville happens and boom, we get I might delete later. You know what I mean? Like, I think it would have held maybe even more weight. Like, you know what I mean? Because oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just don't think there's on brand with J. Cole. Let me see if it's still up before I say this, because he told me he might take it out. Let me make sure it's.
Yeah, while you looking it up, I just want to say that another reason why I feel like that this came out on Friday is because I think I was the only person who went, but like there's been a mess with Dreamville itself this year. Like I don't know if y'all know that like the lineup changed. Like they dropped the lineup very last minute, like 3 weeks ago, and then we got the lineup. Chris Brown was supposed to be the headliner the first night, like Chris Brown and SZA, and then like literally last week we found out, okay, Chris Brown was taken off and Money Long was taken off. They replaced Chris Brown with 50 Cent. So it's just been like messy. And I think like obviously they've been paying attention to the comments and how many upset fans it was. So I felt like he felt like he had to do something to make it exciting, which makes it even more like, well, why'd you do that to make it exciting just to turn right back around when you hit the stage on Sunday to make it less exciting?
Yeah, I feel you. I think it was I think marketing was a big part of it. And it is on brand for J. Cole. I'm a J. Cole fan, so it's hard for me to even say anything negative about the brother. And he rep NC for hard, and I love it. So you know, I'm always support the positive messages of you know what he puts on display. And while I disagree with the method, I do respect him getting on that stage, knowing all the things, knowing that this was going to be the reaction. He's smart enough to know this is how people are going to respond and still be vulnerable and be honest and true to himself. So respect to him for that.
Oh, absolutely.
And I just want to acknowledge again, that joint was fire. 7-minute drill was fire. I like, and I think the hard part is, I want to just jump into one rap beef real quick. When Drake and Pusha T went at it, Pusha T had information that none of us knew, which made his diss good.
Mm-hmm.
J. Cole straight rapped and made his diss good. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't any messy information, no sidebar information digging to get this. It was like, I'm just coming straight at you.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, Princess, you want the next one's kind of on topic.
Oh yeah, sorry. So while we're still on the topic of Cole, Kendrick or Cole, who y'all got?
Oh my God.
He's-
Ooh.
Why?
J. Cole.
Is that
J. Cole. Forget
Yeah,
forget
it's J. Cole for me.
I'm gonna tell. It's Cole. It is Cole for me, but I was about to say something. Now.
It's J.
Does
Cole.
quantity and quality matter?
Kendrick makes better songs. J. Cole's the better rapper.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I think this is gonna sound so like a follower. I think Kendrick is really good, but I can't listen to his music straight through. Like, I can't. I mean, I'm not really trying to like.
That damn album was it though.
And you know what?
Or that-
Transparently speaking, that was the only one, Lewis.
What's it called? City? The other one?
Say a good kid,
December Butterfly.
City?
Yeah, Good Kid, Mad City. That album was fire too.
that was a good one
but
too.
yeah, I could turn on Cole right now. Any album hit.
Cole that I can't play straight through though. I'm gonna be honest.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Beginning to end.
That's true. Love yours, man.
Yo, shut up, man.
Please.
They so daggone stupid, man.
Brittany, who'd you pick?
Yeah, that was Mary J. Blige.
No, I don't
said
like
neither.
Not a huge. I agree with you, Lewis, in terms of like J. Cole being a better rapper. Kendrick Lamar, like I gotta be in the mood.
Yeah.
I can tell you maybe one or two albums from Kendrick. Like, I'm not a Kendrick Lamar fan, but I will say that he has a good, like, he makes good quality songs. Like, he's a entertainer. J. Cole just kind of spits fire every feature, every song, just so.
Don't get me going on Cole, bro.
It's Cole, man. What that dude did for North Carolina, man, I can't listen, man. Like, being a kid from North Carolina, we had Petey Pablo for the longest time. That's all we could say. But don't laugh. Don't laugh.
Hey, Petey Pablo opened that door for him.
He did, man. All we had was Petey Pablo. And J. Cole came in, and he really think about what he's doing. He had a festival in freaking Fayetteville, man. Like, that's just, you know what I mean? To see that is just an incredible thing. And I'm just proud of that dude, man. I just love what he's done. And we got one. We got one. You know, we had the baby, we got the baby too, but we got Cole, and it's a great thing.
Hey, don't do that. No disrespect to the baby. Don't do
No,
that.
I like the baby. I like the baby.
Me too.
The baby was there.
Yeah. He was, honestly, I think he got bigger than J. Cole at one point. In my opinion, yes, sir. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm glad you said in my opinion.
I think, bro, no, listen to me. Where he went to the top.
Yeah.
He went to the top and came down.
Very short.
It was short, but he went to the top. He went all the way to the top.
So are you saying the baby's peak was higher than Cole's peak?
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought it was as dumb as it sounds.
No, I think it was, bro.
No.
I think he's telling the truth.
I think his peak was higher. It was very short.
When was
I think it was higher.
I'll say Cole peak was.
It never stopped. It's never stopped.
Come on, Steve.
Yeah, but I think with J. Cole, like, you gotta be a J. Cole fan. I think the baby like catered to the masses. Like, everybody knew his songs. And I agree with Lewis. Like, he had a run where he was dropping bombs every now and again. Nobody was talking about J. Cole. Let's be real. When the baby was doing his thing, for you to say that he had a peak, like, it hasn't stopped, I can't say that, because I feel like you have to be a J. Cole fan in order to know truly how good he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got, I guess what Keenan's saying, like he's just continuously been great.
Yep.
Like there hasn't been a moment where J Cole he hasn't fell off.
Agreed.
Agreed.
But I do get what y'all are saying about the baby, just from like, I feel like the songs that were coming out and the time that we're in, all the features that he had, the songs that he was putting out, it was songs that you want to like, never mind. It was songs that was on the radio.
Oh wow.
You don't know what I was about to say.
Okay.
We can imagine though.
But it was songs that were like, we were consistently hearing on the radio.
Yeah.
Clean up.
Agent, were you gonna say something?
No, I mean, no, at first I was gonna say that I don't want to pick between J. Cole and Kendrick. Like I am genuinely a fan of both equally, and it's because
Respect.
they both give me something a little different. Like I love lyricists, right? I feel like both of them know how to rap well. I don't like the fact that there's a beef. I don't like the fact when they get talked about going at each other, only because I feel like real rap is so hard to come by. So when you have these two iconic people, I don't like putting them against each other. I don't. Because when I'm on a ride, like if I'm driving, I'm bumping Kendrick the whole time. But if I'm here, like if I'm working or something like that, then I'll have Cole. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, they both give me something that I feel like the industry needs, like desperately. So I don't like it being like it has to be one or the other. Like I don't. I'm
back to my point earlier. I just want to acknowledge that Cole's is a reaction. Kendrick started this.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he did, but
all right.
Yeah,
all right, next question.
Hold on, quick question, Louis. Sorry. Do y'all think, because I feel like it's another like East Coast versus West Coast type of thing. So do y'all feel if like both of them were from the East Coast or like both from the West Coast, do you feel like they would still be putting them against each other?
No,
that's a good question.
No, no, Princess. And I think reason being, I don't think we would know one of them if they both were in the same place. Because I just don't think it works out that way. I don't think we would know both of them the way we know them now.
And I think it's who they're connected to, right? Kendrick's lineage is through the Dr. Dre, that side, and then J. Cole is with Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? That connection too. So I think it's bigger than just, just them two, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. Jay-Z wouldn't have taken both. Neither would Dr. Dre and them.
But I think
basically.
But I think that one of them like was talking about the other one. Like one of them helped the other one though. Like under all. Now I'm only saying that because I can't remember who was the one that mentioned one to somebody else. I'm only saying that because I was watching an interview. And somebody was like, one of them was like, how did you know that? How did you find that out? Because they don't talk about it. So their history actually runs a lot deeper than people know. But I do think, actually, Ken, I do disagree actually a little bit. I think if they were on the same coast, I think it would be like now you have to pick who you rock with for real. I think they would have pinned them against each other because there can only be one. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it would have been one of those like, nope, y'all gotta pick which one because we can't see your point though, Ken, because we can't have both.
Okay, I can rock with that.
All right. So we're going to switch it up a little bit. We are going to just ask a real simple question, man, just to create some variety. So what do you people like to do in your free time? I wanted to call y'all something else, but I'm not. What do you all like to do in your free time?
You want to call us Negroes?
No. Oh no, I would never say anything. You hear all that black empowerment stuff I was talking about earlier? I would never do that.
Yeah, all right. Do I need to click end stream now and hear the truth, or are we going?
And just some context to that question, like I always find it interesting to find out what people do in their spare time. Everybody doesn't share as much on social media. So just like literally, like what do you guys do in your spare time? Like what do y'all consider fun?
Oh, clarifying question. Like if I had nothing, if I had no priorities, or if I had a day.
Oh my God. I'm about to say it for real. Just when you free, you don't have nothing
Yeah.
on the calendar. What do you like to do? God, leave, boy.
I'm just
Talk.
saying, bro.
That's what you like to do in your free talking. Good
You
God.
Nah.
want me to go first, Keenan, so you can
Yeah,
see what I
please. Let's
mean?
do it. Making it
Okay.
So,
Okay.
complex, man.
so like for me, and I like experiences. So in my free time, I'm doing some type of experience. I love music. I'm consistently at concerts.
Mm.
Mhm.
So like that's one thing that I genuinely love doing in my free time.
Okay. I got you. I get where you going with it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I like
You like going to Diddy parties?
what? Nah. Nah. Yo, Jay, wow for that.
Oh
Oh,
God.
Yeah.
culturally relevant. That was great, Jay. That was a great joke.
Mm.
Yeah, man.
My bad.
Mm.
My bad. No
Hey,
big.
nah, you good, bro. That's how you said it from experience. Um,
He was DJing. He was DJ. He was the DJ.
Like Denzel said. Like Denzel said, I left before the devil got there. Okay. I don't know
Oh,
what y'all talking
hey,
Oh my
hey,
God.
hey, he did just get in the house. He was at that last run. Nah, hey, hey, Jay. Yeah, we was wondering where J Dub came from. Anyway, nah,
Mm.
I think in my free time, uh, I don't want to sound too whack. I think in my very free time, I like to travel. When I have it, my thing is I think I'm just at the point in life where I like to experience new things. So like if I've done concerts, like for instance, I just came back from Colorado this weekend. And I'm the type of person that don't realize how valuable free time is until you have it. So I don't prioritize it. But I
Mm.
realize going there, like I just got this itch to get to more states. And it ain't even got to be a crazy part of each state, but I just want to get to more states to experience more of that. And on a smaller scale, if I had a weekend where I had nothing to do, honestly, like I just hang kicking with my peoples, man, my friends and my family. Like I'm very low key like that now. I really wouldn't, and just gonna sound bad. Free time outside, like just me by myself, no family, no nothing. I'm kicking it with my bros and my family, for real, for real.
Mm.
Mm.
Dope.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've realized that I actually like my alone time. And so I've
Mm,
always been a type of person that I couldn't go to the movies by myself. I couldn't go to a restaurant by myself. Like I always had
yeah.
to be with somebody, up until I don't have the alone time anymore.
Mm.
So I really value like sitting in my living room with nobody doing
Mm,
nothing.
Mm.
oh,
That's seriously what I do in my free time because I don't have the free time to do it. So just the value of just being one with my thoughts or watching a crazy Netflix murder series because I'm into the whole murder theory, that thriller crap. Um, that's what I genuinely enjoy.
hey, Jay used to, hey, Brittany, Jay used to call me crazy when I used to go to the movies by myself.
I really did, bro. I never
He be like,
understood. I used to be like, what type of weird shit is it? I never understood that. But just to add to your point, Brittany, I'm at the place that you're at right now, Brittany, because I
yeah,
travel so much. Obviously, y'all know that, and it's like I used to get home and then be wide open because, like, oh man, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to. Now I really sincerely just enjoy being at the house, sitting on my balcony, just enjoying, like, just listening to music, no expectations, or going to the movies. You don't have to worry about. Well, I want to see this. I don't know. I don't really want to see. Like, just making a simple decision and just sticking with it. I enjoy it so much.
oh,
Mhm.
never mind. I ain't gonna say that.
That's beautiful, man.
I
What
was
about
gonna.
you, Asia?
I I love going on solo dates because I also really like experiences. So, but I love like going to a city and just like doing things like in that city. Like, so I really like doing things that I can't get anywhere else. Right.
Mm,
So, like, for me, I love eating, like, especially food. I feel like I've talked about this before, but I love taking myself out to eat. Like, I'm going
Mm.
to like the nice restaurant. I'm
Mhm.
getting whatever that city is known for. I don't want to get anything that I can get
Mhm.
anywhere else. So I love trying new restaurants. And like
Asia,
going to like, I don't
can
know,
I ask
like
a
a
question?
little like yeah.
When you doing that, is there a boundary of don't approach you while you having fun by yourself?
That's a good question.
She
I
froze.
think she froze. I ask her when she get back.
Culture.
I'll hop in until Asia's able to get back. You know what? I had trouble being by myself too and doing those things. But until I joined the military, when you in certain places, you just gonna be on your own. So, but I honestly I like to smoke cigars. I like to have me a whiskey and I'll just smoke a cigar and listen to music and just chill, man. And I think that we as a people have to prioritize that time. Something I was telling Keenan the other day, uh, I had to learn how to make that time for myself because I'm always on the go. I'm in school, I'm working, I've got kids, I'm rehabbing, doing a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And you can get lost, if you don't have that balance. So, creating space or time in my day or time in my life or in my week to dedicate to myself without and I think Keenan spoke to this a couple podcasts ago, without any guilt, right? For myself, because I'm obligated to do things for so many other people all the time. But to make that time and prioritize that time where I get to do what I want for X amount of time, I think is a beautiful thing. And I would encourage anyone to make themselves a priority, find a way to make themselves a priority, and to operate in a space where they can completely be free. But it is a great thing. If you ever had cigars, I think it's dope.
Oh yeah, cigars are definitely.
They dope, man. A lot of women in cigar lounges and stuff too, though, that I didn't expect. So it's a different kind of thing. Not like that. I'm just saying.
I
It's
ain't say
just
nothing. What do you mean?
I heard a snicker and all that. It's
Oh my God, man.
Good God, man. All right.
Hey, can I? Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, bro.
How much, like, do you all, if your free time wasn't a limit, would you spend your time the same way if adult life wasn't so limiting? Like, do you think that free time is what we can get because of what we have to do, or would y'all do something different? That's a great question that y'all asked. It made me think of that. So meaning, like, is the way we spend our free time restricted by all our other responsibilities and mindset? So like, being that if you were in the place you are now but didn't have those other things, for me, a career, wife, family, if you didn't have those things, do y'all think y'all free time would look very different?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Got you.
I don't think so.
You don't?
Hey, I'm not commenting to that. But
I would travel a lot more.
May I ask Asia that question? You said you would do what, Princess?
Travel.
Yeah. That's one of the things I feel like I didn't do enough of, but I didn't realize I ain't had the money to do it until I got kids.
Say it again.
We're traveling when you don't have the funds. It's like, yeah, y'all should have stayed home.
Yeah. Like, when you buy the flight and hotel and get over there and just got to sit in with the lights on.
Yeah.
Hey, look, when you stop paying that daycare, life changed, brother. Let me tell you.
Hey, announcement coming soon. But Asia, I wanted to ask, is there a boundary when you're on those solo dates? Is there a boundary that you don't want to be approached in those times because it's your isolated free time? Okay, I'm just
as far as what?
Did she freeze again? Okay.
No, because you're enjoying your own free time and you're on a solo date. Is there a boundary where you like you don't want to be approached during those times?
No, not necessarily. I could be talked to during those times, but that doesn't take away from the fact that I'm having my solo time.
Okay. All right.
You're the opposite of me, Asia.
Oh, you saying don't talk to you at all?
I don't know when to talk to Princess.
No.
Up here.
I'll be afraid to text Princess sometimes. I'm like, damn.
Lewis.
Excuse me, Miss Lady, are you available?
Yeah, I ain't lying, boy. Jesus Christ, we gonna save that to off stream. Go
Is
ahead.
this a good time?
No. Hey, Lewis, my bad. Text back 10 hours later. Nah, it's good now.
Whatever.
Like, well, I'm not. I'm asleep, but okay. Like, text you at 9 a.m. I get a text back at 8:47 p.m. Hey, you good? Nah. My bad, Princess.
You're
I'm sorry.
so dramatic. You're so
I'm
dramatic.
sorry. All right,
But that's
Princess.
okay. I'll remember that.
I'm sorry. I'm about to text you right now.
No. Don't text me.
You see what I'm saying?
Boundaries.
Don't. Yeah, exactly. Boundaries.
Uh-huh.
So how do y'all prioritize your mental health currently?
Okay.
I'm gonna assume that it may come from what you guys do in your free time. Like Britt, you were saying, like you like just being on the couch and having your space. So yeah, what do y'all do to prioritize your mental health?
I'll go first. I think I have to create balance, right? So I have to make sure I have balance between work, family, myself, and I'm intentional about my mental health. So that means investing time spiritually, right? And also like going to therapy, doing things to exercise myself and, mentally having healthy conversations. This is honestly this platform that my brother has graciously blessed us with, and being exposed to people like you is a part of that for me, right? So making that a part of my routine is how I prioritize my mental health. Make it, because otherwise, my dog knows, and Jay too. Like I wouldn't do this.
Hell
You know what
nah.
I'm saying?
No.
I would be up here giving my time to this, but I found, especially with you ladies, right, and also my brothers, but with you ladies, like you guys helped me so much. And even when we weren't doing it, it was a void, in my life. You know what I mean? So you guys just make it easier, and you guys help me prioritize that. So I prioritize my mental health. So this is a part of that for me as well.
Oh, that was good, Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is a little more like, I don't know. I just get in these seasons. Like I tell myself, so this is how I do it, and I kind of taken on this philosophy. Y'all know Shark Tank, the show? Y'all know Barbara off Shark Tank?
Yeah.
Oh, well, she was explaining how, like, in life, in the business world, how things get hectic. Like she has seasons of 6 weeks, and no matter what, every 6 weeks she does something. Like she may go to a city nearby, or she like basically disconnect from everything to replenish for the next 6 weeks. So the way I prioritize, like, y'all know what season it is for us. Y'all know what's coming up, and we got the podcast party coming in June. A lot of moving pieces. Like to me, I prioritize like, okay, I got to get all this done in 3 weeks. But after that third week, those next 4 days, I'm not doing anything. So I just set up time and space to chill out. You know what I mean? In the midst of balancing that daily, it's really just exercise for me. Even if it's just walking my kids, if it's going for a run, that releases most of whatever stress I feel. And I ain't really start feeling true stress and knowing what stress felt like till I got about 32.
Whoa. Can I? What do you? If you don't mind me asking,
Yeah.
someone I know you lost your mom early, so while you were in college, so for you to say that, like, that is how was this? To me, that would seem like that would be stressful, navigating through that space right at that time while moving to a new city. And you say now it's stressful. What do you feel like? Is it the pressure on? Is it the pressure that you're feeling now to be successful with this or career?
So I what I meant by, maybe I misspoke. I was saying, like, no, that was stressful. I just didn't feel it. I was just navigating because I didn't understand how stress could affect you. And now, when something stressful happens, whether it be good stress or bad stress, I feel the anxiousness. I feel like I'm not able to sleep. I feel that my mind is racing. Like back then, it was just like, oh shoot, like I was feeling some of the same things, but I wouldn't classify it stemming from stress. But when I got about 32, I understand, like, bro, you know what? I am stressed out right now. I gotta chill. When I was younger, it came in the form of lashing out, going to go party. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would very much say I was very depressed at the time. You know, they always say like depression don't look like the person that's in the corner crying all the time. It
Right.
was very much so like, oh no. So a lot of people don't know this, Lewis, to say like, bro, I was driving back to North Carolina every weekend when I first moved up here. I would get off work at 3 o'clock, drive to Greensboro, get there like 12 p.m. to party all day Saturday to drive right back for probably like the first 4 months. But
Wow.
I was just stressed out. Now it's more like I can feel it, bro. Skin, like I can feel the inflammation that stress brings you. I can feel the headaches. I can feel the anxiety. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I got to chill out. That's all I meant. So it was stressful. I just understand the reaction to it now.
Got you.
That's good.
That is good to identify what that is. That's good to know how to approach it.
For sure.
I think for me it's it's as easy as taking a nap. Y'all have ever seen those things where it's like you got a million things to do and you just pull the blanket over your head and just prefer to take a nap. I know when I get up, the stuff's still gonna be there, but in that particular moment, me prioritizing my mental health so I don't snap, go crazy, jump off a cliff, right? Because I'm at that point. I just do nothing. I literally just stop and take a nap. The other part of that too is kind of crossing over into religion. Like a prayer has helped me. I'm not even going front, man.
Salute. No, ain't nothing to front about.
You gotta spread the word.
You have to. For me, let me say for me, I have to prioritize prayer every single day because mentally, what I'm going through in my own personal life, and then having to jump on telehealth and hear everybody's problems, and then have to pour back into them, right? Or tell them all these aspiring things to do and be very realistic about it. I have to pray because sometimes those spirits, they leap off of the computer and attach themselves to you. And then next thing you know, like you're more depressed than when you started out, or you're having a worse day. So I definitely have been in my prayer bag in terms of one, not stressing things that I can't control. Like Britt, you can't control that. Let it go. Let it go. You already know God got you, so just let it go. And I've literally had to tell myself that continuously. So between napping and praying, that's how I prioritize my mental health.
Amen. I have a prayer alarm on my phone. I have prayer alarms on my phone throughout the day for that reason. So I totally agree.
That's good.
That's really good, Brittany.
That's good. Let the church say amen, y'all. I think for me, it's a little bit of what everybody said, like it's working out, but I found, and y'all know I love working out, but I found that for me, even that has become a task. So what I started doing recently is I'll go to the gym, I'll get on the treadmill, but I'll bring a book with me, like a
That's what's
self-help
up.
book or like some type of book. So for me, I'm reading, I'm getting lost in the pages, but I'm still working out. And so for me, it really truly gives me a moment of just escape, and it doesn't feel like it's work. Because sometimes lifting weights, it just feels heavy. And I know it sounds crazy, but I literally feel it, and then I don't want to do it anymore. But so for me, it's just showing up. So I find myself just in a space of like, let me just show up. And for me, that just looks like I'm in a season of prayer for sure, but just getting on a treadmill with a book. And that's all I could do right now.
That is impressive.
That's really good.
It is, yo.
I would be on the floor.
Yeah. I can.
Like, what? I'd be on the floor.
Yeah.
So I'm impressed with what you're doing with your mental health there, Asia, for sure.
So, Brittany made me think about something too. You know what I realized too? I'm sorry, but this is very true. Brittany, I'm the opposite of what you just said. Like, I can't sleep if I have something to do. Production is self-care for me in a real way. Like, if I had 3 days off, I got to spend the first day knocking out everything so I can actually chill the last 2 days. Like, to the point, this is gonna sound weird now that y'all got me thinking about it. Great question, y'all. Like I moved all my grocery shopping and cleaning all my kids' stuff from daycare on Friday evenings because I don't want to think about it Sunday. Like we knock out everything when we get off work Friday because I want to actually enjoy my weekend. And I may clean my house on a Wednesday or Thursday evening. So the weekend we're not spending doing times. I actually want to be free to do stuff. I hope that don't sound weird.
That's not crazy. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes a
that
lot.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I can't sleep. Stuff got to be done.
Jay, did you go?
I can.
No. I think for me, it's a few things. Number one, I had to acknowledge that my work-life balance is terrible right now. I want to go ahead and put that. Like, it's horrible. And it had a lot to do with a lot of different things. The travel increase, and obviously I wasn't able to work out as much as I wanted to, eat as good as I wanted to, because it was just like timing was just so different. I was just all over the place. So I didn't prioritize a lot of things. So now I do small things like when I get home, and I used to feel bad at first, but I had to start disconnecting from a lot of things. So now I'll sit in my living room, I'll put my phone back in the room and close the door. And at least for like 2 hours, I'll just be away from my phone. You know what I'm saying? I'll go in there, check to make sure, everything is good. But it was bad because I never felt like I got a chance to wind down at all. So now I'm just kind of honing in and focusing back on that. I started by working out yesterday so I can get myself back in shape. And I actually signed up for therapy yesterday too.
My dog,
bro.
Yeah,
man, that's huge, bro.
Man. Yeah, and I'm listening together, man. Like, because I got lost for whatever period of time, and it just was so weird. And I don't know if you ever been so lost that you didn't even recognize yourself when you look in the mirror. You like, what the hell? Like, almost like you let yourself go mentally, physically, all type of things. So you just want to get yourself back in that groove. And I seen that, I was like, oh yeah, no, I gotta catch that.
Hey, we proud of you. Hey, we're proud of you, Jay. That's huge, bro.
For sure.
brother.
For sure.
That's awesome. Hey, how much time we got left, bro?
I mean, y'all world.
Let's do 2 more, Princess.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the next one. So we kind of touched on it about physical health. So the question is, how do you prioritize your physical health? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'll go first. So we all know I had surgery, even though I was out there acting a fool in Raleigh.
You probably had to have follow-up. No, you didn't have to get.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. As a black, I never forget. Like earlier in the year, I went to the doctor, and they thought it was something seriously wrong with me because they'd never seen like a young man. I'm not even gonna quantify this black man, but a young man just go to the doctor as a routine checkup. That is uncommon. Like I had a doctor straight up tell me that they thought something was seriously wrong. So I think one, I prioritize it because I've lost some different family members. The oldest living black man, or only living man in my family, was my grandfather, who passed away last year. He was 72 years old.
Wow.
So after he died, the oldest person in my lineage is maybe 50.
Wow.
So that was such a reality check, right? I lost both of my grandfathers to the same disease, which is diabetes, right? I'm not diabetic or anything. I lost them both to the same disease. I heard Chris Rock say this joke, and it really ain't a joke, but he was like, black people will die and feed people the food that killed the person at the funeral. And it's true. It sounds funny, but it's true. And I had to really take a look around and understand, what it was doing, and really start understanding how important it is to pay attention to what I put in my body and understand the trends of what has happened in my family and what I could be predisposed to, as well as my children. Because I was never taught to eat healthy. I was just taught to eat. Right. And then when I got money or had money to buy my own food, I ate what I wanted because I couldn't get it when I was younger. Right. So you don't really understand how mental some of the decisions you make, even when it comes down to what you eat. Right. Eating all my food on my plate, that was a complex because I didn't have a lot. So I'm like, I'm gonna eat whatever I have. I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna take care of it. So, I mean, all those things are behaviors that I'm unlearning. And I'm prioritizing by educating myself, being more intentional about what I put in my body, I had surgery, which was a huge step for me because I wasn't going to have surgery. I really wasn't. I didn't want to go under anesthesia, which was nerve wracking.
Mhm.
So for me to make that step was huge. And going through rehab now, I'm feeling better than ever. I'm losing weight. I'm getting healthy. But I prioritize my health by just being realistic and understanding how important it is. You know what I mean? Like really, that's the only thing that's one of the few things that you have control over
Yeah.
when you think about it.
Mhm.
Right? Your physical health is the thing that you have the most control over in
And
life.
sometimes you
So,
don't, and sometimes you really don't even have full control over it. Really, you just gotta give
well,
yourself.
yeah, unless you're genetic diseases, things like that. But yeah,
Yeah,
but what I choose to eat is,
yeah,
what I
yeah.
choose
I
to
get what
eat,
you're saying. Yeah,
whether I choose to work. Excuse me, I had the luxury of having full control over that.
Yeah.
So I'll put it that way. I had the luxury of having full control over that, and I'm just taking it serious. So I make time. I purposely make time out of my day to work out or meal prep or do whatever it is I need to do to create that longevity for myself physically. So that's how I prioritize my mental health.
That's
yeah,
huge, Lewis.
Hmm.
for sure. You meant physical health though.
Yeah, excuse me. Yes, physical health. That's
Oh, I just quote people properly. So
I got a quote for your ass.
no.
Yeah.
Hey,
Love
Oh
you.
my God.
text it to me. Hey, so the only thing I realized, bro, more recently that I really gotten into the last like 2-3 months, I just realized eating shouldn't be a sport. like, I think I'm not, bro. We
What do you mean
treat
by that?
like we'll be like, oh, this shit's so good, and go get a whole lot of it, like we're indulging in a sport, and it's really not for that. So when you look at food as like a need-based thing, and not like, yo, damn, let me go to the Brazilian steakhouse and get every cut that they're gonna bring to me. Like, me personally, I'm not saying anybody should. I'm just saying I had to stop doing that because I think the biggest thing that I'm realizing when I was late 20s, I could still eat what I want, do certain workouts, and still be good. Like my body just is not reacting to the food the same way anymore, no matter if I work out the same way.
Right.
So I just had to realize, like, bro, I just can't can't add that McChicken no more. You understand what I'm saying? You can't get that combo and add that. You can't go to
Hey,
Cookout and get
can't put that chili cheese on the fries at Cookout no more,
you know what I'm
kid.
saying, bro? You
Tastes
can't
good.
do that no more. No, hey, but it's telling the truth, but you can't do that no more, bro. Like, even as simple as like, bro, I really started paying attention to how much stuff is fried.
Hmm.
Oh my God. And like the oil in it and the calories, it's just that for me now. And what I've realized is, man, it gives me a lot of mental clarity when I really pay attention to what I put in my body. So that's been really helpful for me.
Mhm.
I guess I'll go. So for me, I've been on the struggle bus with physical health. Um, I will say in some things like I'm very consistent. So for like one, I'm very big on like taking my vitamins every day. Things like that. Um, every morning, like I have a shake for breakfast, like a meal replacement shake every day for breakfast. Where I've really been lacking is in the gym. And part of that is because a lot of times I feel like my life is like here, there, and everywhere. And
Mhm.
so I just don't have it in me to like force myself to go to the gym. Like how Brittany was like, I'll just take a nap. That's literally how I feel. It's like, oh, the gym is literally right there in my apartment complex, but it's like, why would I leave the house? I work from home. I haven't left the house all day. Like, and I'll just go lay down,
It's
and
real.
that'll just be the end of my day. But I'm working on it. 2024.
Mhm. Okay.
For sure.
And to your point, Princess, I think for me the turning point was when I transitioned into my leadership role and I had more flexibility to stay at home. I've been working from home for 8, 9 years now. Versus when I was out in the field, it was routine for me. Every
Mm-hmm.
single day, after work, I was going to the gym before I was going home. Kid,
Same.
husband, no kid, it didn't matter what was in the way. Like that was my priority on the way home. Now that I'm home, it's harder for me to get up and get out of this place because I do everything from here. So I'm not gonna lie. I mean, y'all know, for those that I have called, I don't prioritize my physical health, and I should, especially now. My body's constantly dehydrated. I don't drink enough water. So these are things that I am paying attention. I am paying attention to. And I hate to blame it on this, but I'm in the house. The water is right there, or the snacks or the food is right there. But because I'm comfortable and I'm in a space and I cracked my computer open and I'm going, I don't get up to go to the kitchen to get something to eat or to whatever, because it's going to distract me from what I'm already focusing on. Versus if I was actually out in the fields or in an office, I feel like I would have to get up and take a break, or have to get up and go to lunch, or have whatever that is. So for me, it's been a struggle for a long time, for about 8 years, in terms of prioritizing my physical health. I will say that, unfortunately and fortunately at the same time, um, having family members, having my parents. I just had this conversation with my mom. My dad is he's healthy and good now, but he's had some scares, to the point where we've had to change our diets and had to change seasonings in our foods and stuff like that. And my mom was just like, Britt, if I left here, your dad will be in bad shape, because he would have to then depend on you, being the only daughter, to prepare food for him. And do you know how to cook certain things for him without the seasoning? Because he has to have bland meals or whatever, because of his health and what he's going through right now. So it's really important to take a step back and just kind of prioritize the food we eat, like Lewis was saying, but also just being physical, getting back into the realm of being physical. So how I prioritize my physical health, I don't. But I definitely can do better at that.
Yeah. Hey, prayers up for Pops too, whatever's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think I'll go. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
No, you go ahead.
I'll be quick. Physical health, that's like one of the things I feel like that's my thing. So I love, like, I'm always doing something with my physical health. So more recently, well, since the beginning of the year, I'm 90% plant-based now.
Oh,
Um,
salute.
and
Okay.
that has been like beautiful. Like, I absolutely love it. If I do eat any type of like meat on the days that I'm not plant-based, it's seafood only. Um, and I just feel so much better. Like, I genuinely feel amazing. And then for my physical health, like as far as like working out and stuff, I already told y'all, I feel lazy. And so I forced myself to actually do midday walks. So because I do work from home, so if I have a 45-minute block, and part of it is like accountability, because some of y'all know I've been doing the 75 hard challenge. And with that, some days I really slacked hard. But the one thing I say is, like, even if I don't get those 2 workouts in, I better get one. And so for me, I might like go, if I have 45 minutes or an hour, I'm like, okay, good. That'll give me 45 minutes to go for a walk. I'm walking outside, I'm going on the treadmill reading a book. But something that's helped me is just preparing for it. So like when I get up in the morning, if I know I need to work out, I'll put on workout clothes, and then a cardigan. So that way I'm already dressed, right? So I just walk out the door and I just say, I just gotta walk out. That's it. I just gotta walk out the door. Some days I gotta run back to the house, but I try.
You know, it's kind of good to hear, once upon a time, but now, like, someone that's as committed to it still deals with some of that struggle of getting up and doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, even though it's very much a part of your lifestyle, Asia, to hear that, like, you still have your days where you got a 3, 2, 1, let me get up, is like reassuring in a sense, because he's just like, you think that people like yourself it's a machine, basically.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah, you don't have anything to add? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, last I won't be long either. It was two things for me. Number one, I was just lacking discipline in that area, and I became lazy, and I had to just be real with myself. Like I said, I was using the work thing to the max because I do travel a lot of different times, a lot of different places, a lot of different time zones. But like for me, okay, yeah, you may not be able to go down there to the gym if they don't have a gym or go for that walk, but you can do in the hotel room workouts. You know what I mean? You can do something, push up some like something to get your blood pumping. Um, so that was my thing. Once I came to reality with that, I'm like, okay, I need to start doing something, and that's why I started now. And the second thing was I was looking at my daughters, man, and it made me realize, like, you know what, like I need to get myself together because I want to be, obviously around for them when they get married and be able to pay for their wedding, and see my grandkids and stuff like that. And it just made my why, kind of real because I guess in the area I didn't have a why. And it's like when I made that my why, I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna be around for this.
Yep.
For sure. Salute.
That's beautiful, man. I like the tips. I think, we give a lot of game on here. I love what Asia said about preparing. That's really what it is, right? Like I lay my clothes out in the morning, it makes it easier for me to go. If you want to drink water, you you have the jugs, buy the gallon jugs and sit them right by you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you gotta prepare yourself for those things. And yeah, that's beautiful. And like somewhat like I was in the military, so I was in tip top. I typically was in shape prior to probably my second kid, but I was always in great shape. So when I got out of shape, man, it was an identity crisis for real. You know what I mean? When you got to go to the store, you got to buy them big pants. You got to get them big pants. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You gotta get the big pants. And y'all, I got big legs. Y'all know I got big legs, so I just can't be wearing the skinny. I got to get the big pants. So it was like, I got to change, man. I got to make a change.
I can't wear them skinny jokes.
I can't wear them skinny, man. But yeah, man. Listen, like I mean this from the bottom of my heart, man. Like losing people the way that I did, I would challenge anybody. Look at your family history, especially as African Americans. A lot of us maybe aren't we are not taught how to eat. We're not taught how these comfort foods impact us, right? And they're made out of love, and it's a lot of great things and a lot of great meaning behind them. But you can't eat that every day, man. Or it will kill. I mean, it sounds bad, but that shit will kill you.
Yeah.
No, that's real. Don't sound bad.
It hurts, but it will kill you. You know what I mean? And that, we don't prioritize our health enough. I don't feel like we do in our community when it comes to eating. I think a lot of us are getting to it. You meet more people like AJ eating plants and fish and things like that. And we used to laugh at that, but now it's becoming more normal. And yeah, I think we should certainly educate ourselves and prioritize it. But that's exactly all I had. That's all I had. I don't know if Princess had anything she wanted to ask and end with tonight.
Y'all want one more question or no? I know we almost at 2 hours, so
let's get a Princess question. Okay. Get the people what they want, Princess.
We'll do one last question to end this out. I think this is a nice question to end it out. So,
let's get it.
What advice would you give someone that's navigating figuring out life right now? Whether it would be career, love, family, friendships. Like, what's one piece of advice that you would give someone that's trying to figure life out?
Oh man, that was actually a really good question.
I can go first on this one. I think the advice I would give them is just to realize that it's a lifelong journey. Do not rush through it, and don't be afraid to fail because it's not a loss. It is a lesson. Just learn from it. Is the thing. Don't just keep making the same mistakes. Is what I would say.
Yeah. I would follow. I would say, man, in all the aspects that Princess mentioned, seek counsel. Like, don't always think you have to figure it out on your own, or you have to go through hell and hot water to learn stuff. Bro, seek counsel, bro. Like, that don't mean y'all got to be best of friends. It don't mean that you got, like, even if it's paid, like, seek counseling where you're trying to go. And I just think sometimes we don't commit enough to mentorship. Everything that 97% of things that I've gotten to, like I had some type form of mentor in marriage and career. And you know what I'm saying? Personally, like you just need one. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to be long-winded. And I just really starting to hate this individualized society we start to live in. Like everybody, me, or self, like everything is about self. But like, no matter where you're at, seek counsel. If you don't know, yes, you can figure it out, but there's nothing wrong with finding somebody to guide you that you trust or has the expertise to help you get where you want to go. That's all I'll say. Seek counsel.
You want to go far, go together. You want to go fast, go alone. That's good.
Real, bro.
That's good. So good. Lewis said it was good.
Yeah.
You know it's good if I say it.
Lewis, that was good.
That's right up there with if you're not first, you last. hey. Oh man.
Asia, did you go?
I can go.
I didn't.
I could go.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Asia.
I don't have one yet. Get over it.
I'd say learn from your experiences. Learn from your experiences. Expect change. Learn from your experiences. Expect and adapt. Right?
Yes.
Because those are things that are going to happen. They're inevitable, and it's one of those you can't kick yourself while you're down. Learn from that experience, grow from it, right? And when I say expect change, change occurs with growth. I think the hardest thing for people trying to navigate life, whether love, relationship, whatever it is in your career, I write off on adjustment disorder all the time or adaptability all the time, right? And that's because there's levels to life and you're constantly changing and you're constantly growing. So as soon as you accept the change and learn how to adapt to those changes, you'll be able to kind of navigate things at your pace, right? And that of course comes through learning from your experiences. So that's my little 2 cents that I would say for right now.
Nah, that was more than 2 cents. That was good
It's
stuff.
beautiful. I learned that lesson late.
A lot of people do, believe it or not.
You want me to go?
All right,
Asia?
I got one in mind.
Okay.
I got one. I think it's just not. Don't stop experimenting, and don't lose the joy of the journey.
Oh,
I think we get so caught up in the goal that we miss the experiences, that we miss the adventure of us even getting to that place. Yeah, that's it.
That was good.
absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Love that.
Did mine count as a go? Because I was just piggybacking on Keenan.
What you mean?
Did my quote count as a go?
Yeah, you love.
I thought that was you going.
No, that wasn't.
Oh, okay. Well, you go.
All right, I would
I'll
say
go last.
find a way to be consistent, right? Like find a way to be consistent. If you're not making progress in one area, if you're not making progress finding a mentor, read a book on how to find a mentor, right? There is a book that says there's profit in all labor. So you're going to get a return in some fashion, even if it's failure or if it's a loss. Like my brother Jay said, it is a lesson within it that's going to take you to your journey. Right. I've been in places mentally that I had to overcome. Been in places physically I had to overcome. Consistency is what got me out of it. My will to continue to move on in spite of what I faced is what allowed me to overcome any hurdle or item that stood in my way. And then the second thing is, man, there's beauty in being you. You got to understand that no one else can do that better than you. It's being you. And it sounds so cliche, but if you are in a room, you are in that room to be you and not anyone else.
That's good.
I love that.
That's real good, Lewis.
For sure. Salute.
Yeah. And I would just say, my advice would be comparison kills. So literally live your life for you.
For sure.
And don't be concerned about what you see that other people have because you don't know what it took for them to get there.
Mhm.
So just be mindful about comparing yourself to others.
Salute. Salute.
Awesome.
All good. All of it was good.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, super salute to Princess and Lewis on the topics of the night, man. Appreciate everybody tapping in. We are the Monday Night Crew, and we are